My hardest hike yet, Mount Oyama. Welcome, hikers. This is going to be a good one. I actually attempted this hike twice. It is difficult, the path isn't easy, and in the rainy June weather it really blends what an expert's hike is and what a beginner's climb is. This hike is so stunning, beautiful, and serene, it felt like I was entering another world, literally climbing above the clouds. You will use muscles you don't normally use hiking. Even though it didn't rain, when you're climbing through the clouds, the mist gets stuck on the trees and drips. It also keeps the stones moist, which makes it incredibly slippery. At some points, the steps are higher than my knees, and the safe option is using your hands to help pull yourself up. And that's when you have steps at all. Sometimes it's just steep rocks. I will preface this by saying any time other than June, this hike becomes a lot easier. To avoid the rocks most of the time, you can walk on a dirt path, but this time of year, it's an incredibly slippery, mucky mess with a steep incline, basically giving you no traction and a quick ride off the mountain. My first attempt, I had to turn around just before the summit at the 300-meter mark to make sure I would catch the last cable car. After looking into the schedule more, I realized there was no way I could start mid-afternoon and catch the cable car, so the second time I planned on missing it and just brought more water. This is one of those hikes the internet didn't know much about when I initially searched it. Google Maps didn't know where the summit was exactly, constantly saying I was 1 minute away from the summit when I was in fact almost an hour. The best guide might just be this video. As someone who went through it in bad conditions, I will try to hit all the key points to make sure you have fun on this hike. Some other warnings about this place I should mention is the nature. There is bears, monkeys, and deer. In the thick fog, it can be difficult to tell the difference between a deer and a bear. To mitigate this, you can carry a bell, often called a bear bell. But it deters most nature. This is the best option. I did not have a bear bell, and I chose simply to sing the songs I was listening to on the way down. Fred's got a boyfriend, she hates that dick. Tells me every day. It's Martinera just to stay at home, oh my friend. Gotta say, that one deer loves to be where I am. Not cool. It's the human trail. You get the rest of it. This is a terrible idea. I do not recommend it. The deer liked my singing, and when I ran into one, it did not run. It wanted to come closer. In fact, after I turned away, the deer followed me halfway down. I had no food, just water, but the deer had a curiosity about the human who sings. The second reason this is a terrible idea is that you can't hear the nature around you. It's very important to be aware, especially when hiking alone. The only warning I had originally that the deer was right next to me is when I heard the crunch of the twigs beneath its feet, right beside me. I panicked. If this was a bear, I would not be making this video. If I was listening, I could have heard this from much further away. The third and final reason I have not to do this is that it burns energy. It may not be much, but your lungs are already taking in less air, and tired from the hike up. It's a needless waste, so please, buy the bell. With all that being said, let's get into it. You'll start your journey just as I did at Ishihara Station. As soon as you exit the station, the bus stop is very close and clearly marked. There are several stops along the way, but the main focus is go to Mount Oyama Nature Park. When you get dropped off, it's a short 15-minute walk up to the cable car lift. There's lots of vendors who will sell you trinkets, walking sticks, and dining for local cuisine. This is awesome. I loved it here. If you find these steps challenging, it gets much harder from here. The hike up can start at the bottom cable car station. To the left of the station, the path begins. However, I don't recommend it. The full hike is challenging enough to not need to wreck your knees before the real fun begins. Once you make it to Afuri Jinga Shrine, from the cable car up or the walkway, we head to the temple itself, and past it. You will see a small sign and a steep set of stairs to start. This is all the mercy you will be given. From here, it's a rough pathway, and that's it. No handrails, and only rough steps if you're lucky. There's a few places to stop and sit, but the first ones don't come until the 40-minute mark. For most people, about an hour into it, which is about halfway up from the temple. Take a break, rest some. Many hikers will say konnichiwa to you, which most people know as hello, but the second interpretation is good afternoon. So when they say this to you, it's more of both, as in hello, good afternoon. This hike is a challenge, everyone knows it. Just like the stones along the way inspiring you to keep going, so does the companionship between the hikers attempting this one. This is the first hike I was on, almost everyone I met said konnichiwa. As an obviously non-Japanese person, this meant a lot to me. I've never met friendlier Japanese people. On top of this, another key phrase you should know is daijoubu, meaning, are you okay? Konnichiwa. You okay? Daijoubu? A lot of older people attempt this hike with more time in their hands, maybe a little more lonely. You will see some struggling. Daijoubu desu ka implies the question, are you okay? But simply saying daijoubu as a question, they will understand. If their response is daijoubu back to you, not sounding like a question, they are saying I'm okay. In this case, you may continue your hike. You okay? Daijoubu? If it's daijoubu janai or watashi wa daijoubu janai, this literally means I am not okay. They may require help. Seek clarification if it's not immediately obvious. If it's something, anything other than that, maybe whip out Translate. Make sure they're okay before proceeding. So once you meet the 40-minute mark, the second half is slightly easier. It is steep and slippery, enough so that the people maintaining the trails have put a few walkways and steps so you don't slip and slide right off the edge. As we reach the 0.6 kilometer mark, collect our breath and drink some water, look around. It's soon time to continue. The next break will be the 300 meter mark, the turnaround point from my first attempt. If it's cloudy, you won't see anything. If it's not, you can see into the distance forever. Here's some videos from my first attempt when it wasn't cloudy. The clouds are nice in a way. It keeps the sun off you, but it makes the trail wet. It's a real give and take. The heat my first time was terrible, but the wet trail the second time meant I had to be a lot more careful. From here, the trail starts to feel mystical and magical. The views even of the trail itself feel like the beginning of The Hobbit, or an old Disney movie's rendition of a forest. I was in awe, stopping a lot just to take it all in. Soon enough, we reach the 300 meter mark, and the mystical forest looks even more so. The views without the clouds are nice, but this isn't the optimal viewing spot. As we keep moving, the trail improves more as we're getting very close to the real summit and the shrine atop it. Eventually you will see the first signs. You're close. A torii gate peeks up ahead, an excellent viewing spot. And with this, you've essentially made it. The temple is a little further, but you can relax from here. There isn't much left. Take it all in. Once you're done taking your pictures and videos, we continue to the last few steps to the temple. During regular hiking hours, you can eat here, get drinks, really relax and get the best of it all. It does get busy, but not too busy, as the challenging hike does deter almost all the tourists. Both hikes, I have never seen any tourists, all native Japanese people. This has been a gift to me. As I mentioned, this is the Japan I came to see. The real Japan. One without someone speaking English around every corner like in Tokyo. Tokyo itself is not Japan. They do so well catering to the tourists. Trying to make money, almost everything there feels like a gimmick. But not here. This temple existed for over 2,200 years, well before the unification of Japan as we know it today. Here you are above the clouds, and you feel like it, floating above them. My first look was electrifying. You would think after a hike like that, you would want nothing more than to sit and sleep, but I just couldn't help but stand and stare. This is the highest mountain I've climbed yet. At 1,252 meters, about 4,100 feet, it's nice knowing I earned this view. And with that, the freedom to share it with all of you. I truly hope that you all make this hike for yourself. Just be prepared. Maybe don't hike in June. Bring enough water. Although the hike up is estimated to be about an hour and 20 minutes, it's more like an hour 40 or 2 hours, as most aren't prepared for the onslaught of steps, or lack thereof. The hike down is a lot faster, but you do have to be a lot more careful. I made it from the 300 meter mark my first hike down to the cable car in about 35 minutes. I was running, I did slip. Please don't be me. I was alone on this mountain, in a country literally on the other side of the world from my own. A more realistic timing would be an hour. My second descent took an hour and 15. This was being careful and dealing with the very slippery path. Provided good conditions, an hour would be a good estimate. In the clouds and fog, it gets dark a lot faster. These final shots being from 5 to 6 p.m., about 17 to 18. Once I get off the mountain, it was still very sunny, but during that final hour, it felt like the sun already went down. With that, it also got a lot colder, and the animals were around every corner, as I mentioned at the beginning. Some final notes before I end this video is, maybe a walking stick is a good idea. Steps are high. Sometimes you have to jump down. It would definitely help your knees. 2 to 3 liters of water is an appropriate amount for one person. Don't just bring one 500 milliliter bottle. And buy that bear bell. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. I don't just do hikes, I do a wide range of content, though mostly nature related. I'm sure I will or have made something else you're into. Thank you again so much.